That's ragu, mate. I mean, I hope not. I hope you don't, you know.
This is the Escape Podcast for Star Wars The Old Republic. This week, we're going to pull Marcus in, one of our guildies, who's going to talk about our monthly Datacron event coming up at the end of the month and how our monthly events work in Star Wars The Old Republic and in our guild AIE. We're also going to go through some news, run Red Reaper, and have some fun. This astromech this week is EPC 251. And playing alongside me is Seema. Hi, Seema. How's it going?
It is fresh and crisp.
Is that the weather,
That's how it's
or is
going.
that the
Actually,
lettuce on
it
your
has
Chipotle
been weird weather here.
salad?
We're having a couple of days of summer thunderstorms, which is always a change. It's nice. But yeah, so I do like that weather. But aside from that, other things are going well too. We just finished Mandatory Fun Night, MFN, and we did some pretty casual stuff tonight. We went and killed the Golden Fury and Taboro's Courtyard for Conquest, and then we went all over the galaxy looking for commanders to kill, because that's also a Conquest target.
Mm-hmm.
And while we were doing that, we were just hanging out, being ourselves and having some fun and chat. And we did find one finally. So we went and killed him. And then we had kind of called it an early night, but we did clock some conquest points, so we got a good start on the week.
Yes.
Last week I actually got 5 characters to conquest personal target, and for me, what made it easy last week is that there were 3 rampages. So even though I didn't do necessarily all 3 every day, if you do 2 or 3, that was a huge chunk of points, and so that was fun. I forgot what we did in our raid team last week. We did do something, right?
Yes, something.
Yes, we did do something, and it was fun. Fun was had.
I don't know what we did. Yeah, what did we do? We did something. Something. I don't know.
Did we do explosive conflict? That's what we did, right? Explosive conflict.
That's what we did. No, that's what we did for MFN, wasn't it?
Yeah, it kind of runs together. But yes.
Yeah, that's what we did for MFN. I don't know what we did for our ops side. I don't know. I don't know what we did.
So this week, in Conquest, we are concentrating on the Imperial side. And pay attention coming up, because we're going to shake it up a little bit in order to be able to hit some of the crafting conquest weeks that are coming up on the pub side. So it's not going to be in our normal pattern in the next few weeks. So
yes,
pay attention.
Gonna watch close. It's gonna get crazy up in here. I'm telling you.
Crazy.
This week, I'm going to be doing a lot of daily quests, and it was kind of fun because I went to CZ 198 this afternoon, and it was hilarious because it was like just stacked with people, and it took me back to when that zone was new, and it was like that. And I used to do those dailies so much, and it was kind of like a little mini homecoming, and I was running around going ha 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 click, ha 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 click. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
So I'll be doing more of that. I really enjoy that area and Black Hole. So yeah, that'll be fun. So how about you, Max? How you been doing?
I've been doing great. Thanks for asking. I did 4 characters conquest. So it was a crafting week. Could have done more crafting. We hit our large target by like Friday, I think, for our guild, which was really good. A lot of people putting up a lot of points. And since we hit our large target, I stopped with the crafting. So I only did, out of all 4 characters, I only did maybe 8,000 in crafting. I had been gathering mats. I still have, stacks of 500 to 2,000 of all of the materials in archaeology artificing. So I was planning on being able to do a whole bunch more, but just didn't need to. And it's boring and time consuming. And with the triple rampage last week, it was just easier just to go do a rat ghoul tunnel mission and go shoot a bunch of rat ghouls and shoot a bunch of, sand people, not just the men, but the women and children too, and whatnot.
With 3 rampages, it's really easy. And I didn't even do the rat ghoul tunnels one because I don't enjoy that as much. I did it maybe once or twice, or when there was a bunch of people going, I went along. But so even without that third one, on most days, I still easily got 5 characters. So it was a fun week.
So yeah, it was still a fun week, and there was plenty of conquest to go around. We'll probably talk about I know we talk about it all the time, but when we get to the guild section, we'll talk a little bit about what we're doing for conquest this week, a little bit, because we've got some special strategies for how we're going to work this out and try to see how well we can do this week. So there's some OPSEC, some operational security. That's what they call it in EVE for our EVE division. OPSEC, you can't talk about it. It can't be public with that information. It's OPSEC. So apparently we've got some OPSEC to talk about. So that's the whole meta game around Conquest. I'm just finding fun in general last week and this week especially. Yeah. So that's cool. So that's what I've been doing. That's what Seema's been doing. Also, as I mentioned, we have a guest this week. It's Mark USB. It's Marcus. Marcus. So when Marcus first joined the guild, his character name was Marcus B. But I don't know. I just read stuff as I see it, and I thought it was like USB was a thing. I thought that sounded pretty cool. I named my name Bluetooth. I'm going to be Max Bluetooth or something. So I was calling him Mark USB for a long time. So hey, Mark USB, how's it going, and what have you been up to?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on the show. So I do a lot of ops. So I did. If I get conquest points and I'm the slacker of the guild, I get conquest points from ops, and I try to do it, but I never seem to hit my target, and I guess I should. But on Sunday night with my Death Star Troopers team, I just came back from a 9-day vacation of sitting on the beach. So I just told the team, look, we're going to do a really nice, easy run. So we did EV and KP, and another guildie, Stavis, he healed us and he succeeded. He was telling us we're all going to die, but thanks, Stavis, for filling in, and we survived. And then yesterday, which was Monday, we took my co-host of the Working Class Nerds podcast, and Nick, and he's been saying no to play in this game for 2.5 years, and now he's more hooked than most people are to the game. So we took him on his first op, and I said it in MFN, when you're riding a ride, with somebody that's never ridden the ride, you don't watch the ride, you watch the person on the ride. And he was like, I could see the smile through the screen, essentially, from ear to ear of EV. And we made him do the puzzle. And he was all stressed out doing it, and it was great. And then, but just to confirm, he did fall off the stairs in Solo Fight. So I think that's like a first
As it should be.
Yes.
Yeah, as it should be. So, we have other stairs for him to fall off of too.
Yeah.
Plenty of them, but yeah. So that was really, really fun, and everybody with us, really got pumped up for him, because anytime you bring somebody for the first time, it's awesome. But that's what I've been doing.
Excellent. Well, good to have you on, and we'll definitely talk more about what's going on with our guild at the end of the month. But first, let's talk about some news.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
All right, first up in the news, there are PTS updates. I was really surprised how quickly they turned around some of the feedback that they got and implemented a bunch of updates on the PTS. In fact, to the point, and there was a little speculation behind the scenes with some of the groups that I chat with about, I wonder if they had some of this in the works already. I wonder if they had some of these that they just didn't finish up by the time they put the PTS live. Because a bunch of the feedback, they seemed almost overnight to have some updates for us around, which was really impressive and appreciated. But yeah, it was quick. We complained when we did our walkthrough on the PTS of the Rishi Stronghold of a few things, and some of those things showed up in the updates, like the doors to nowhere when we were searching around trying to find how to unlock the stronghold. There's a bullet point in the PTS update list that says there are less doors to nowhere in the Rishi Stronghold. So I think everybody was complaining about that, but we can certainly take credit, I think.
Yeah,
Because we
let's.
just
Why
will.
not?
So a bunch of things in the list. I just pulled out a couple that I liked. Bigger room unlock terminals make it easier to unlock the places so you're not searching around trying to figure out what you're doing. The ability to, well, I don't know why I thought this was interesting. Ability to end combat. Better use of the training dummies in that little training room. That's a cool thing. The biggest thing that I think everybody is happy to see is there's an easier, better way, a really cool way that they implemented to be able to spectate on PvP as it's going on in that big arena up on the sky deck. And the way they're going to do that is there will be a terminal, a console outside the arena. So once the match starts, you'll be able to click on it and you will be teleported into the arena as an invisible, untargetable droid.
Oh.
And then you will be able to run around and run back and forth in the arena, watch people real up close, watch them fight, watch how it's going on. Yeah, so that was a cool way to handle it. I've been on the PTS before and seen sort of the developers do developer mode things, and that's one of the ways that they handle their observation of people doing fights. So I think it wasn't too much of a stretch for them to think of doing it this way, but I hadn't thought of that offhand. I don't know if you saw my extra little video that I put up on YouTube of me being able to get up way up top where you're not supposed to be able to get up above the arena upstairs. I still like that as a nice overview of the arena. I'm still going to make that a thing, but that's a cool way to handle it. So that was fun to see them put that in.
I mean, you say you weren't supposed to get up there, but you didn't do any like exploity wall jumping. You just stacked up decorations and made some tricky jumps.
Yep.
So I think.
Yep. So well, hopefully, somebody replied when I posted that on one of the forums that said, "Hey, don't give that stuff away right now. They're gonna they're gonna block off those areas or put up invisible walls." So hopefully they don't do that.
Oh. I don't think so.
No, I don't think it's worth.
I mean, because it didn't give you a view of unfinished art assets or anything like that. So
no, but technically you'd be able to then drop down into the arena after the match started, because you're not behind the force field. So it could be a little bit problematic, but I hope they just leave it because I would love to go sit up there and have a little party while there's a battle going on.
Now I picture up you up there with a martini.
Yes, a chilled Corellian cocktail, as it should be.
Yes. There's also more to come for the PTS. They're saying that they're going to give us the ability to sort our stronghold list, which now, we were talking during MFN because I have 22 strongholds. They were talking about, I should deactivate some of them, but now I won't have to.
No, you
because
won't
I can
have
just
to.
sort them.
But you won't be able to get the new one because I don't think you'll be able to add it, will you? Until you deactivate
you're right.
a whole bunch.
I do. I forgot about that little wrinkle. I will have to get rid of some. I've just been putting it off because, clicking is hard.
Yeah.
They're also going to make it so that they're looking at making it so that resolve bars show on portraits in the Rishi stronghold for PvP like they do in war zones.
Yes, which is important.
They're also adding an ability to turn off PvP completely in your stronghold, which I know people have been asking for one reason, and I hope it affects this, is that you don't when you're riding around on your stronghold that you don't get dismounted when you enter into a PvP area. I hope doing this will prevent that from happening, so that would be cool. Also making it so that you have to have a key before you can use the terminals that start and end in somebody else's, start and end PvP when you're in somebody else's stronghold. So that's good. There needed to be a way to control that.
Yes.
And then there's also a note they're addressing some line of sight issues for some decorations, especially related to channeled and AoE abilities. So I'm thinking that some decorations were not providing line of sight protection against channeled and AoE. So
right,
that's fun. I like that.
That did seem to be the case to some degree, where you could the channel still continued after you ran around. It didn't sort of break the channel after you ran behind something, and I was like, what's going on? Why am I still getting lightning shocked by that Sork over there? So hopefully They did say explicitly that that's something they were asking for, as much feedback as possible. Think of all the decorations that are out there. If there's a decoration that already exists that you think should be working a certain way and it's not, feel free to post that in the feedback in the forums. If there are decorations of the new decorations that aren't working as they're supposed to, definitely post that feedback. They're going to need help testing that kind of thing. There's just so much variation in so many decorations these days. So if you do get to that, that would be good. They also have a news update in the dev tracker about Warzone and Arena medal changes. Not going to be all that interesting, I think, to most people. What they are doing, though, is just looking at what does it take to get these medals. Let's balance out who gets what medals based on statistics. So they've done a whole bunch of reporting about how hard it is it to get these different types of medals. Which I think is good. So it's good for them just to look at that, make sure it's balanced, make sure it's not like, which I sort of feel like is if you're a healer, you get a whole bunch of medals, and DPS don't get very many medals, and tanks get a lot of medals. My Sork gets a ton of medals because I get healing medals and DPS medals. So hopefully this will balance things out a little bit, because getting medals does contribute some value as you're PvPing.
And they also talked about they're going to consolidate all the existing cartel market reputations into one. And the way they're doing that is if you have a little bit of rep across several different ones, then it's going to be additive. They'll add them all together, which I think is the right way to do that. And one of the big reasons they decided to do that is because they don't embargo packs anymore, because they're doing a lot more direct selling, or they don't bring back, I should say, embargo packs. There's really no way to get those older reps.
Right.
So instead of, so this is kind of solving that problem. Everything else will stay the same. Like you won't lose titles or gear, or if you have gear that checks for a particular cartel market rep, it'll just check for the new rep. And then they also, this is like a funny thing they added, that the contraband slot machine, the decal that you can put in your stronghold, may get you the new rep, just like it may have gotten you the old rep.
Which it does quite a bit. So that's the tokens that are going to be dropping from there. I'm not a pack opener, so you can see here in my interface, I have none of the Binary Star Realty, Bounty Supply Company, Estrin Exports. I have 0 rep in all of those, but I do have Legendary in Contraband Resale Corporation, which is the slot machine. So I did enough in that slot machine back in the day that I'm now legendary on this, which is then going to make me legendary in the new rep. And all of these old reps, which I was never going to ever be able to get, they're all going to be gone, which I sort of like. Now I'm still behind here. Why is Voss only friendly? I don't know. I just have not done enough on Voss, apparently. I've got a couple weird ones. Belsavis is Belsavis is champion level, at least. Iocath is champion. So I have a couple I need. Oh, GSI I got to work on. So I'll be able then to finally, I didn't even think of ever getting legend on everything because I was never going to get any in these old pack reps. So now I'll be able to have legendary on everything if I ever feel like getting it. Let's see. Yes, there is something broken also in the daily bonus for Galactic Command. What is that? You do like Control G, or how do you even see that daily bonus for your Galactic Command daily stuff? That is a thing that there is something that you can do for each day. That's you should be getting a bonus each day, like. Today should be flashpoints, or today should be operations, and you should get a CXP bonus for doing that activity on that day. That is broken. They can't fix it. It's not going to be fixed till 5.9.2, unfortunately, which is the next update, which is hopefully coming at the end of the month. And it was supposed to be in about 10 days. We'll see if that happens based on the work that's going on the PTS. It may be pushed out a little bit. They said, though, as a bonus, and this was a question we've been asking for the last few weeks or so, there will be double XP when that new update drops, and there will be 10 days of double XP, double CXP that everyone can look forward to. So if you are saving those those packs that drop off of ops bosses, the CXP packs. You can save them up then for a couple weeks, and you are going to get that double XP going. There we can cap those off. In activity find, it's in the bottom of the activity finder window. Activities, activity finder.
Oh, I see it. Command bonus uprising. It's because it's golden. It looks like it's not a part of the frame at all.
But it's in Control G. I don't have it. Not on mine.
Yeah, if you look at the bottom, it's like bright gold. It says command bonus.
I think I'm still on
uprising.
a different. I think I'm not on the right thing.
Well, you're on. Let's see. If you go up into the little mini menu and go, just click on activities.
I am.
Yeah, Control G.
It doesn't show up on mine. Group,
Me
PvP,
neither.
solo.
No, it's not on. I
Lockouts.
see it's not on yours.
Weird. Anyway, that.
Your screen is broken.
Well, maybe that's part of it's being broken. Maybe that's part of the brokenness right now. Maybe. Who knows? Let's see. Guild and community news. We do have one guild thing. We'll do the elevator pitch in, and we'll talk about more in detail when we run the Red Reaper. But Marcus, why don't you run us through number one on the guild news? What do we got coming up?
So Friday, July 27th, 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Time, on the Republic side, we are going to do a mega Datacron run, and everybody is welcome. You do not have to be an AIE to come and get some Datacrons, and there's really, truly no level requirement. I think all you need is a ship.
Mm-hmm.
So we would love to have you come, and there will be a giveaway. I'm not going to tell you how to get it, but we are going to be giving away a 60-day sub time, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And myself, so I'm hosting this wonderful Datacron run, and I only have 2 Datacrons myself, so it's going to be an adventure for myself. So come watch me fail, and everybody else laugh at me. So it's going to be great.
Should be fun.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. And we'll talk about it in detail about these kind of events and sort of the purpose behind them and how you run this kind of event in just a little bit. Seema, Conquest update.
So this week we're on the imp side. Next week we're going to be in the imp side again, and that's a little bit different from our normal pattern. And the reason we're doing that is we mess with it a little bit so that there's 2 Conquest weeks coming up that have unlimited crafting, and so we didn't, with our old schedule, they would both fall on the imp side, so we're changing up so that the pub side will get at least one of them. So next week we'll be on the imp side again.
Yes, that's good. And that's because we try to support both sides. That idea of being able to do a crafting week on our Republic side, and we've got a couple awesome leaders in our guild on the Republic side for our Conquest teams, like Zen, who's in the chat room right now, who loves that Republic side. So we'll definitely support them. Also, continued shout out to the community team who's been continuing to do work. I was on the PTS this past weekend. On Saturday, there were 2 PTS playtest sessions for PvP. The devs were on there incognito, encouraging everyone to queue up and get some more of the PvP tested. They have to run that kind of event. They have to sort of set a time window and say, hey, everybody log on, because you have to get groups queued up for the war zones to be popping. They definitely were popping. It was fun. There was a couple of streamers that were streaming that on behalf of BioWare. So I meant to practice saying her name. Averia. Avi was streaming in the morning.
I'm going to say Averia.
Averia was streaming in the morning, and Kogas. Don't know how that's or Cog. I was seeing people call him Cog also. Was streaming in the afternoon. They're pretty cool streamers. Sort of relatively new to the stable of influencers. Check them out on Twitch. And to wrap it up, Seema.
Shout out to the chat room. Thank you guys for helping us with levels earlier and for just being awesome people and for keeping us honest and accurate.
Yes. So you mean they're exposing our lies? Yeah, thanks for that.
Whenever they can.
All right, with that, let's get into some playtest. We've been chatting for quite a while. Hopefully, we can run through this flashpoint. Let's hear where we are in the story, though. Oh, stop, Cam. I know I'm the greatest. Anyway,
That's a lot to say. It's a lot to say for we're on the Imperial fleet.
We are. So, in addition to doing the story, we switched over to our main characters just to make it easier to run through tonight. So we're cheating just a little bit, but in the flashpoint progression around that sort of Belsavis area, even though we're a little bit beyond that, we're on Corellia with our Sork story right now. Last flashpoint we ran through was Colicoid War Games. Red Reaper is the next flashpoint up, sort of in that story progression of the flashpoints. So that's what we're going to run tonight. And let's click into it. Let's get it kicked off. And then, as I said, we'll talk a little bit more about datacrons and that kind of stuff.
This is Viking Space Doctor Darth Malgus. Your strike team has arrived.
Oh.
Then let us begin. Perhaps you have heard of Darth Ikaral, a great man of pure
I'm not
Sith
dark
blood,
side on this side.
decorated by the Emperor and honored for his might. Ikaral lived like royalty a century ago, in a time when purebloods carried unparalleled prestige, and the Empire remained hidden.
So he was a pampered fool. Now, see, I'm on my main who is not dark side, but he does not bow down to the Empire.
In my experience, the red skin of a pureblood counts as much now as ever.
Oh, really?
Old ways may linger, but they're passing. They say the pure-blooded Sith left behind were wiped out when we left the Droman Kars and rebuilt our empire a millennium past. But Ikaral believed pureblood survived outside the empire, reduced to barbarism on forgotten worlds. 70 years ago, Ikaral left in search of these lost Sith and never returned.
All right. I know the levels of Malgus are a little low. I always turn the game sounds down a little bit so when we're shooting things we can still talk. So
3 days ago,
Malgus is saying yada yada yada, Darth Ikaral, yada yada yada. He's got a ship. It's called the Red Reaper. He's a bad guy. We're gonna go jump onto his ship and we're gonna try to take down this Darth Ikaral. What the story, the backstory is Darth Ikaral was this Sith Lord, big, important guy. He took off to sort of wild space, and he was searching for Sith out in wild space. He comes back. He takes a look at sort of where the Empire is and says, this place is a mess. You guys are not keeping the faith. And now I'm gonna take things over. So you disappoint me, and you will feel my wrath. So we are going to, on Malgus's behalf here, go take him out. That's our job. Spacebar.
I've killed gangsters.
He is still chatting. This reminds me, and I still haven't taken it out of the original start veteran mode, I guess. Yep. I still haven't taken it out of the original packaging, but I have the Darth Malgus Collector's Edition statue.
It's so pretty.
From launch. Alrighty. All right. Let's jump in here and see what's up. So Seema, I'll let you pick what you want to bring out your companion and decide what you're gonna make it. Are you healing on this character? We don't have a tank, do we?
Yep. We do not have
Marcus,
a tank.
are you a tank? We probably won't need a tank.
He's a Marauder tank.
All right. See, this is one of the, I think this is one of the least run flashpoints. A lot of people by this point in the story progression, even at launch, sort of skipped it. So it's never run very often by anybody. So Seema, why don't you pick a companion you want?
Yeah, no, one of you two do it because
Okay.
it's just easier for me if I don't have a companion out because
Okay.
I have to attack something to get the companion to attack
Oh,
it,
sure.
or just send her in. But
We'll bring
this way,
Shea
I
Vizsla.
can
She's awesome.
spend more time on Pinterest.
Well, I don't know. I might have to go get my power tech. I forgot. We probably should have brought a tank, but that's okay.
You don't need a tank.
We technically
Have a
can
Marauder.
skip some of this, but let's just kill the trash while we're here, and then we can talk while it's going. Yeah. So Datacrons. I thought it was really interesting, Marcus. You said that you don't have have like none of the Datacrons. I didn't even
I do not.
think, that was like, it was a big deal at launch because it's permanent stat boost. So when I first started, when I first got into Star Wars and I learned that there was a way to get like a permanent stat boost to your character, that seemed weird to me. That seemed like a really big deal. So I thought they were pretty exciting at launch. Because a lot of MMOs, there's very few ways to get that kind of permanent stat boost. You just get, extra stats from gear.
But it doesn't affect us that way anymore, right?
No, it still is. It's permanent stat boost. So you're missing out. It's not a lot because now our stats, like here, my mastery is 6,000. So it's only in like an extra 50 mastery that you're getting or so from. In fact, we should look it up. I could be more accurate than that, but it is.
That's what the chat room is for.
So the chat room, I don't know if you've got the. In fact, I know I have a spreadsheet for this somewhere actually. But that's permanent stat boost. So if you and I had exact same gear and exact same level and everything exact same, I would be more powerful than you slightly because I've got all the Datacrons. So that is a thing we should definitely catch up on. Most of the Datacrons are just a couple points.
I mean, unless you're in a bolster situation, right?
I'm excited to do it just because I've never.
Yeah, I guess unless it's like a cap bolster situation, right? Because like when we go to Voss to fight when we go to Voss to fight the Nightmare Penguin, everyone has the same health because our endurance gets capped, right?
Right.
So Stavis says it believe all of them added up is equal to basically having one more piece of gear on. So that's sort of a lot.
That just changed the game for me.
Yeah, no, it's a thing. So we'll get them for you.
Well, so I think what happened is when you guys first started doing it, it was per character, correct?
Yes.
So now it's legacy bound. So once you get them, you don't need to ever do it again.
That's also true, but a lot of them are also. So you were mentioning, you were a little bit worried about how difficult they were going to be to get and that kind of thing. A lot of them are actually really easy to get, and I'm surprised you don't have more than just a couple because as you're walking around, especially the first couple planets you go to, there's 3 per planet typically that you're picking up, and they're just like sitting out on the ground. Sometimes they're a little bit hidden. You gotta, walk out of your way a little bit, but 200 mastery, 60 endurance, and 40 damage bonus. I don't know what the difference is. Oh, this looks like the first boss that we're coming up to. Lord Karis, disciple of Komakda. And adds. Oh, he sacrifices these ads along the way. I don't know if we can interrupt it, but he sacrifices them like to heal himself. We do have healing stations if things get crazy. I'll go left, you go right. Marcus, Seema can heal us, and we can hit a healing station if things get out of hand. Is he invisible for you guys? He's invisible for me, just as lightsabers.
Yes, invisible.
There's like 4 healing stations I see. We might get ads from the sides too. I vaguely remembering this place. All right, ready?
Ready.
Game on. Oh, there goes the Marauder.
That's so great. I'm not getting yelled at for jumping in first.
We'll let it slide. We'll let it go. Let it go. See, there he goes, Soul Drain, which I did interrupt. So, and now why does he go way down? Something happens here. Oh, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. Here's the strategy. Kill all the things. Go that way.
So the whole point of the Datacron run is for some of the newer players and maybe some of the older ones that don't have all the stuff to just come and have fun. And it's an opportunity for all of us to not be in such a, serious fight, I guess I should say. Like, some of the most fun I've had is standing around waiting for everybody to get in a room to do the
Yeah.
op.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's a good point. So one of the points you were making to me is there are people that, even with the way we run MFN, which is really casual and we explain all the fights, there's still people that are sort of intimidated or to get in there and try operations. In that case, yeah, you're right. We should go back to doing more of these things, and we've done.
And it's a
things like
great
it in the
way
past.
to introduce new players into it.
And into grouping up with people and having fun with friends and that kind of thing. So,
Right.
Yeah, I agree. So as Marcus said,
And that's why, it's so important. Go ahead.
your objective of let's open it up to anybody and everybody. I like that. So you did a good job of that with the first one. What was our first one? What did we do?
We did World Bus Hunt.
A World Boss Hunt. That's what it was. But we had people.
And we did.
Ooh, is anybody a scavenger? Does anyone have scavenging?
I do. You mean you don't?
Not on this character. It's slicing.
We just have like slicing 3 times.
Which I don't use very much anymore. I've been sort of using up my slicing.
So the first mega was so it's monthly epic group activities. That's the acronym. And the first time I think we had 12 from the guild and 5 or 6 from outside the guild, which was awesome. And then I think afterwards, I think a couple of them actually joined the guild.
Yeah.
So for me, that's a huge success.
Yeah. So good job with that. And there's some really cool people that have joined as a result of that I think is really fun. But yeah, so Datacrons is a great one. And what did you say you had planned for the next month?
So I'm hoping that we have the new Rishi Stronghold, and I want to hold like a hut ball. Everybody groups up with 3 other people, and we do, or however many people we get, we divide it into even teams, and we do like a little hut ball tournament. And I'm hoping to do first, second, and third place prizes, just so everybody kind of earns something awesome.
Yeah.
The whole point of the whole thing for me is bring everybody together in a non-stress environment.
Can you slice this, Seema? Or can you scavenge this? How's this? I thought slicing is what you'd use here, but this is also scavenging? Seema has repaired the elevator. So we're in this flashpoint, right? And there was a droid. They don't do as many of these anymore. There was a droid laying there. So there's use for your crew skills in some of these old flashpoints, which I really like. We were talking about Section X, and in the Aurora canon, if you have archaeology, there's a halfway through the Aurora canon, there's an archaeology item in there that if you use archaeology on it, you get like an extra little shield to take you through the rest of the instance. Oh, that astromech is shooting me. Wonder why. They don't do enough of those anymore. But yeah, sorry, Marcus. I think that's a great idea, doing the hut ball.
But like you were saying, so MFN we go into ops, and you get a full 16 all the time, but this way it's essentially it's unlimited.
Yes.
We can do it as many as we want or need in this event. Some of the things that I want to do is the macro binoculars and the seeker droid quests. A lot of people, some people have done it, some people haven't. That's an
Yeah,
awesome thing where,
I want to do those.
yeah, and even if it takes 2 months to do it, because the first month we do all, the macro binoculars, we do all the macro binocular parts, and to get to the last heroic 4, and then the next event we do the final mission where there's a lot of jumping.
Seema, did you see how the Marauder always jumps to the one that ICC? That's I don't know if you were catching that.
Something about always going to the middle.
So one Sunday morning, I was on kind of early, and a Gildathon says, "Can you help me out with a fight here?" And it turns out he was doing the macro binocular thing, and so I went to help him out, but I couldn't get in the instance with him. And then we figured out that I was like one step behind in the quest chain.
Okay.
So we quickly got me up to speed, and then we did that fight, and then we did the next one, and then the next one, and then we came to one where we couldn't progress because we needed, to click 3 or 4 things, and we were only 2 people. So I'm sure we'll be looking forward to that mega to finish the macro binoculars. But that was fun. That was really fun.
Yeah.
Well, it's because it puts almost everything into it. You get the puzzles, you get the, you get the hard fights, but there's mechanics involved, and it's just a great way. And it takes 4 people to do it a lot of the time.
Yeah, we got past one spot that was designed for 4 people by, I was on my Sage, and so I could use phase walk. But then we got to one where the points were just too far apart. We couldn't do it with just 2 people.
Okay, we're up to this second boss here, or second or third. I don't know where we're at this point. But this boss, there is something that used to have to happen with these power sources, red versus blue, and you have to do a thing. We may just be able to power through it, but if not, we may have to figure out remember what we're supposed to do with the different colors, because you can click the base and change the color, and it does something. But I forgot, so we'll just shoot them, and then we'll see what happens. Some of you may die. That's a risk I'm willing to take. Ready?
I'll be in the car.
Marcus is ready. I'm just gonna go because he's gonna go. Haha.
Marcus is ready.
I'm always ready.
Oh, see, he's red beaming me, so I'm gonna. I don't know what I'm doing. I just click that. Blue beam. I'm gonna do the blue beam.
The biggest thing is, too, for me, is if anybody wants or has an idea on something, please tell me. We're open to all ideas, and I'm not even opposed if it's we do a small group to do something one day. If you guys can find me on Twitter or in the AIE Discord, I'm on all the time.
Yeah, definitely keep up with these the ideas that anyone's interested in, because this is an opportunity to do a little bit different, unique stuff that we don't usually do. We do guild events every once in a while where we do fun, unique events, but so if there's any of those old ones that you wanted to go back and do again, that would be fun to hear. I know top of people's list in general, like when I do a survey every once in a while that the guild leadership will do a survey and say, what do you guys want to do? Operations tends to float to the top of the list, but that doesn't mean there aren't other things on the list that it's not fun to do once in a while, especially for like a monthly thing. So that's cool.
And once a month is a good break, because once a month it's easy to commit to that.
Darth Icaral has taken control of the ship. He's talking smack to us.
It is the only way to glory.
Ooh, Astromechs. They're all bad. So Marcus, back on this topic of the datacrons. So a lot of them are just, you know, sort of tucked in corners, but you just walk around, you find them, and you walk up to them. Another series of them are a little more difficult. You do have to do some jumping, a little sort of like a puzzle, figure out how to get to it. An even fewer amount have sort of like slow-moving platforms in various places, and you have to wait till it gets to you to jump on it and ride it to like the next location where you can jump off and do a thing. So we're gonna have to sort of get together, you know, get coordinated on those ones. A lot of those, when you're doing it with a group, get a lot easier though, because if you have, say, a Sork who has the ability to extricate, then you can much more easily get just the Sork get up there, or get a couple Sorks up there, and whichever is the first Sork to get to the datacron can pull the rest of the people along, and that kind of thing. So it definitely is a great thing to do with a group, the harder and harder datacrons. The hardest datacrons, so there are a couple. The +10 endurance datacron on Makeb is one, and that one is platforming jumping puzzle to the max. It's one of the hardest jumping puzzles in SWTOR. However, we will cheat. We, you know, if we've got time, we can show people the hard way. But I have a character that lives on the platform where that datacron is, and I can just invite everyone to a group and just guild ship summon everyone, whether they're in our guild or not, right to the datacron, and you can get it. So I have an old alt, one on the Republic side and one on the Imperial side. That's all they do. They just live there forever. So if anyone ever needed that datacron, we could just still have it. The second one, which is actually the most difficult, is the +10 fleet datacron, and that's +10 to all stats. So nowadays, I don't know what it does. Is it just +10 mastery? Because it used to be +10 to all stats, even the ones you didn't need. So it must just be +10 to mastery these days. But that one, we'll see, you know, I think we should try to do it. But what we may want to do is get a handful of people, like 6 people, before the event starts, and set that one up, and then make that the start, and pull people through that one to start. And that's when you may want to look up the fleet datacron, because that is the most difficult in the game, and it's sort of both a puzzle and multiple layers of puzzle that you sort of need to get through to get to the end. There's even prep items
nowadays. Since so few people need datacrons because they have them already, a lot of enterprising people have figured out ways to do that datacron with fewer and fewer people.
Yes.
But our method's pretty conventional. We do it with, a person in each station.
Yep. I think Marcus, you need to click on.
Yeah, I was just waiting for
us to stop talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that never happens.
No, never.
Oh, is this a dark light choice? We're at the cryogenics console. If we do something, we're gonna kill people. Well, I'm light side on this character, but so yeah, we're cheating a little bit tonight. That is pretty cool armor, Seema. I like any armor that's sort of lit and animated.
Yeah, I do too.
It's light side to just leave the console. It's also light side. I'll even be nice and release the Sith. Oh wait, I'm Imperial. I don't know why I was thinking that.
Light side is the best side.
There you go, guys. You owe me one.
Sith in their underwear.
Yeah, it was. Oh, and
wait, they want to fight us now?
Hey, the heck? The heck do you mean?
And we have armor.
Yeah, they were naked. 4 naked Sith came in. That one had an axe. What did they get? They all had axes, so they got cryo frozen naked in their underwear with with an axe in their hand. That dude's
They do have axes.
this one dude's got nothing, but these other three have axes in their hands. What the heck, man? That's all.
Want to bring Shay back?
Oh, is she? Why is she gone? Shay, get back here.
So
Sequoiar.
I'm excited for the Datacrons, and I'm hoping we're on the pub side, so I'm hoping our resident Codex reader will read some of the Datacrons to inform us on the information in them.
Yes, that would be nice.
That sounds great. Oh, did that mystic go after Shay? She must have laid into him.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, she's set to heal. That's dumb. Why didn't somebody tell me?
I didn't notice.
Damage. Lay down the smack.
I think some of the Datacrons
Ooh,
on
you got archaeology?
Coruscant and on Nar Shaddaa are pretty challenging.
Yeah. So Coruscant and Nar Shaddaa? Yeah, Nar Shaddaa, yeah. Isn't that one of the ones where you have to like ride on the thing?
No, they're mostly jumping off of curved surfaces onto other curved surfaces. And
evade.
it also used to be extra challenging back in the day too, because if you fell off, you would fall into a group of mobs. Nowadays, that doesn't really matter. Wow, that's quite a knockback.
Yeah, these are. Don't get knocked off. Did you go loot the chest, Seema? No.
Of course.
We're fighting here.
I'm opening chests.
The
loot. That's what the healer does during a fight.
The fat loots, man. Nar Shaddaa is the one where you run along the pipes. Yeah, and don't you have to like run up like an electric wire on Nar Shaddaa also? You're like running up
and you
along
have to,
the pipes above, and Belsavis has one that's in the droid
Belsavis
factory.
has a one where you have to collect the 4 rune stones or whatever they are.
Oh, yeah, I meant Belmora, but yeah, Belsavis has the one. Yeah, although I think one of our guildies said they had them.
I think somebody has like 50 or 60 of them.
Oh, you know which one I forgot until just now, until I just remembered? The Rishi one. Which
oh yeah, that's right.
You need to camp and kill the rare Groffets to get the something so that you can then click on the thing and open up the thing and get a plus lots of
Max, run out on that red thing.
That sounds like a trap. That's a trap. It's a trap.
It's fine. It'll be fine.
You're saying I may die and you're fine with that. Marcus, did you jump to the... I CC'd that one. It was way in the back. It was like the last thing there was. How did you know to jump to that one?
Well, they pushed me off the edge.
You did. You deserved it. You marauder.
I heard Shay in the background there. Someone clean up this mess.
Where are you? Are you somewhere we can
It sent me back to the last boss fight.
Oh, okay. We'll wait for you. Maybe. The
Maybe.
fire room on Nar Shaddaa. Yeah.
Yeah, the fire room on Nar Shaddaa. That's right.
The jukebox. You're right. That's a good one. You got to go to like an old broken jukebox to get the thing, to get the data key. So when you go in the fire room, you can plug it in.
And if you don't choose the right thing, then you don't get out of the fire.
I hope people are recording what I'm saying, because this is practically a guide. Word for word. You get the thing.
Yeah, this
and
is
the
practically
thing, you
a
put
guide.
With the thing, because then if you don't, you can die. So do the thing. Yep. Yep.
So Max, I do have a question, and I think but isn't our mega event kicking off a big something for the guild
Yes, good point.
starting next week?
I meant to mention that. So it's sort of on the eve of a week-long summer event for our guild AIE that we have every summer. It started way back because we're all friends with our friends and family. We called it Summer of Love way back in the day. Somebody dubbed it that, and it just sort of stuck. So wait here before we do this last fight with Darth Icaral. So yeah, what this summer event is across all of the games in AIE, and each night throughout the course of the week, there's one of these kinds of either just like an MFN or a mega type event in lots of different games, and there'll probably be one or two a night for that whole week. So it's mostly Sunday to Saturday. Ours is the Friday, sort of the Friday before, so ours is sort of kicking it off. But there'll be stuff in Elder Scrolls, Final Fantasy. There'll be like 3 of them in WoW, including invading the enemy capital cities and hunting down the Alliance leaders. There will be events in Eve. There will be events in Guild Wars. So there's going to be tons of cool stuff going on throughout the week. And then most of it centers around an event we have every year on August 2nd, which we call Remembrance Day. And this goes way back also for our guild. And this was many, many years ago, probably 10 years ago. There was a well-known, well-liked, very central member of our guild that passed away. His gamer tag was Milliways. And everybody was sort of really affected by that. And coming out of that, we set up an annual Remembrance Day for him, and since then, other very important, very, very good friends of ours that have passed away in real life. So now, over a year ago now, we lost one of our founders of the guild, Ralph, and that was very hard for a lot of people in our guild. This is 10 years later, we've all been friends, and he was a strong leader across all the games and a great guy. So it's a cool event to have that kind of thing, and to have that level of sort of friendship and stuff going on in this kind of community that everybody appreciates. So that'll be going on across a bunch of games. In the game, people will meet up and gather around a couple central locations where we sort of hold it within the game. We'll do it in Star Wars, we'll do it in World of Warcraft, and a couple of the others. And then we're all together in Discord, and we talk a little bit about it, and we say some of the names of the people that we're remembering and that kind of thing. So so that's what sort of all the fun events surround, but that's a cool night that a lot of people in the guild appreciate, which I think is sort of cool. All right, and with that, I'm staring down Darth Icaral here. He does a bunch of stuff, I remember, where you have to kill his ads. You have to get him stand behind, get whoever has aggro needs to stand behind his ads, so that when he casts his blast ability, it knocks the shield off the ad. Then you can kill the ad, and then you can go back to killing Darth Icaral. Does that make sense? It does.
Yeah.
I wasn't listening, but yeah, it makes sense.
So whoever ends up having aggro when those ads show up needs to go and stand behind the ads, basically, from Darth Icaral. Ready?
Ratty.
All right. Game on.
Today you face a true Sith Lord. Battle ends now.
Okay, he's awoken his chosen Sith, so he's shielded. You got to come over here, get behind. Okay. So yeah, stand behind the. Now interrupt that. When he does his ability like that, I think you need to interrupt the chosen Sith, dude. Who's he got aggro on? Me. Oh, there we go. Okay, now we can kill this one. No, I can't. What am I doing wrong? Okay, so he's on me. He's doing force signing on Seema. Okay, now he's... Okay, there, killed one. I think you gotta do an interrupt once he does his thing there.
It just did.
There, now that one's dead. Now we can go back to Icarol.
Shay's not really listening to you.
No, she's just killing Icarol. Shay?
She doesn't listen to anybody.
No, I forgot. I think I need to go and collect these fiery balls. Something. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna collect the fiery balls. Chat room, do we need to collect these?
He's dead.
All right.
If you just pull a Marauder, you just keep hitting him, he'll die.
And now we gotta click on this thing, I think, command console, and that will finish us off. And there we go. Red Reaper.
That was quick.
And with that,
So
yeah, you know, finished off Red Reaper, and I think we're good on the Seema just jumped off. Jumped to our death. This does look like a great place to jump down. Oh, you think I can get down
So
there?
just a reminder, next Friday, 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to do the most epic mega Datacron run ever. And I guarantee you're going to see me die because I'm going to fall far, far, far. So, and if you're listening and you're not in the guild, you can find me on Twitter at MarcusB814, and we can get you in the Discord and then, get you to run with us.
Yep. AIE.
Max, how can I find you guys?
Yeah, AIE-guild.org is our main guild website, and up at the top, up on the menu bar up there, you can get our Discord link, and you can come in and check us out in the SWTOR channel on Discord. Come and say hi, get in there on that night, and also feel free to jump in and check us out and come into the MFN nights as well. Also, our EPC 251 droid will be broadcasting this podcast out there in all the usual places, like highlight on Twitch, on YouTube, on iTunes, on newoverlords.com, where all the feeds are. You can go check us out. Definitely keep up with us on Twitter at MaxTheGray and at AIESEMA, and you can see where we're pushing out content and when it shows up. And as we said, get anyone you can think of that, if you're out there listening, that means you or anyone you can think of that should be coming and playing with us, and point them our way. We would love to have them. And thank you, Marcus, for being on the show. And thank you, Seema, for always being on the show also.
Oh, well, you're welcome, Max.
Didn't want to leave you out there. And thank you all of you for listening, and we will talk to you later.
Later, everyone.
See ya.